Hi, welcome to another episode of Behind the View, where we talk about anything informative and educational about design, arts, and entrepreneurship. There's this saying, every day is a work in progress, and that life is a process of growth and improvement, and learning from successes and failures. Today's guest, a very good friend of mine, one of my brothers from another mother, is here with us today. I've known him for 16, 17 years and have seen his whole life journeys. And I feel that he's the best person to share his entrepreneurial journey with us, someone close to us, someone who is just like us trying to build a business from scratch. And that not every successful businessman that you see on social media, on online, are successful within a single business venture. So a little bit about this guest of ours. A man filled with self-discipline, multiple motivational quotes to inspire others, and a leader who paved the way for other aspiring leaders, and also a friend indeed for business advisors. A man living the epitome of jack of all trades, now an entrepreneur, co-founder and director of finance and operations in an F&B establishment called JING, Singapore's first and only halal Chinese hotpot and grill buffet, where traditions meet inclusivity. And here he is, co-founder of JING, Jack Kwong.
Ooh.
Hey.
Thank you for coming on the show, Jack.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure.
We have so many questions for you.
I look forward to this podcast as well.
Maybe you can tell us a little bit about yourself, how you came to be today.
Well, how I came here was by Carla. If you're talking about my life experience,
Yes.
that was quite a long journey.
Starting from, I think, your army days.
Yeah, so I call myself a part-time regular in the army. I signed a little bit longer contract, so I did a total of 3 years in the force instead of a regular NSF, sorry. So I started there. I was an officer in the army, and then I eventually became an instructor in OCS. Just taught me a lot of things. I think that was one of the best leadership schools there was, and also about planning, coordinating, instructing. Started from there. After I left the force, I tried to do a couple of businesses, which didn't end up very well. But I think it was useful experience along the way. Eventually found myself back in a company working for someone else. I decided that, hey, maybe I should learn a bit about marketing. So I joined a social media role in a small little startup. Picked up a lot of things, and eventually I felt that that wasn't the thing that I wanted to do as well. Ended up in the finance world. I did the finance industry for almost 6 years. Over there, I learned a lot of things as well. Largely about how to connect with people, understanding the situations, obviously finance, numbers, driving it, networking being a huge part of it as well. So other than the technical, the tangible, it was also very much the intangible aspect of it as well. Somehow found myself now running JING, F&B establishment. So I never imagined myself doing it, but here I am. Yeah, so it's been about almost 2 years now. But formally, I've been doing this full time for about 6-7 months.
What inspired you to venture into F&B then?
So long story cut short here, my now partner was a friend from poly. And so we were, still catching up like over our quarterly dinners. So one fine day we were at Blue Cuisine having a very nice meal, and then she was telling me, hey, her mum restaurant closed down. And her mum wanted to kickstart open again, and she needed some funds. So I figured, and she asked me basically, can you find anyone? I said, okay, I'll go around and look for someone. And if I can, then, of course, some broker fee or some equities in the business. Eventually, I managed to get someone in. And And I did. However, I did tell them, say I don't want to be operation involved, right? Because I was still very comfortable at where I was. One thing led to another. I think what I saw was the opportunity to scale up this business. I think I saw the opportunity for growth. I enjoy the creative elements behind it. I enjoy the managing of things from ideation, to execution, and hopefully seeing the fruition of it as well. And yeah, I ended up informally. It's been about a year and a half to two. Formally, 6-7 months trying to drive this full time.
So after joining that venture, was this concept newly created or was it there from the very beginning? Because I understand from Peter, it is a halal hotpot, right?
Yes.
So yeah, was this concept originally there, or is it something that you guys came to brainstorm together and come up with?
So like I shared, the concept came from my friend's mom, who is now my partner as well,
Right.
Aisha. She was running the restaurant in Simei. So in the same concept, being a halal Chinese hotpot and grill buffet. But when we decided to reopen it, Nora and I were very actively involved in the rebranding of it.
Right.
To rejuvenate the brand, to breathe a new life into what it could be. So far, I think in the last 1 year since we opened, I think 1.5 years now, I think it has showed its version to take the hard road in trying to shift entirely, right? I see it as like a level up, right, of what the brand could be. So now we are a brand that we focus very much on the customer experience. I came from a hospitality background together with Nora in our school days. She continued being in St. Regis for quite a bit. So we know what good hospitality is. We want to infuse that into the business. That's the tangible, right? Then there's the intangible, being what does the customer feel? And I think that's largely revolving around the interior aspect of the business as well. So we really try to create a space that, even though the customers are paying this much, they may feel that what we want them to feel is that they are getting the value that is 2 times what they could, what they're currently paying right now. So yeah, it's been a long journey since. But I think to answer your question is that we didn't really brainstorm it. It came to be from the previous brand. But there was a lot of work to try to breathe a new life into it.
Okay, so given how tough F&B ventures are in Singapore, I mean, you have definitely heard like, wow, within a single year, how many actually closed down, but yet at the same time, there are also a lot of F&B ventures coming up as well.
Yeah.
So in your situation, how do you navigate through all these obstacles? Like obviously, first of all would be rental. That would be one of the biggest killer also.
The staff turnover, I think that's quite a common thing, right?
Fortunately, I've not had an issue with that so far. I guess maybe the culture is decent enough.
You overpay your staff, I think.
Possibly, but I think it's if it keeps them in a business, then why not? Right?
Even if let's say overpaying the staff in some sense, right? To me, I think it's a very good, I would say, staff benefit as well.
Yeah.
Because most importantly, times have changed also. It's not like everybody is just listening to the boss, being in that sense a slave to the boss. I mean, there will be the old times, but nowadays, you have to care about your employees' welfare and things like that.
Yeah.
So ultimately, I always do believe that if let's say your employees are happy being where they are, then naturally it would reflect on the way that they work within their own employment, in a sense.
There's a business code for that, right? Take care of your staff and you'll take care of your customers.
No, and I agree. I mean, like, okay, so I think there's 2 parts, right? One is like, how do I survive in the industry? I think that's linked to taking care of your employees, like exactly you pointed out, because I think now information is so open up, right, on the internet, and everyone knows what's the market rate out there. And if you're not willing to take the chance to give them at least a market rate, if not at least 10-20% more, they can easily just hop over, right? So finances are going to be the key factor of anyone wanting to stay and work in the business, right? So I think from a business perspective, if I'm looking at the P&L, and then I need to make sure that my revenue is generating high enough that it covers as a percentage, and my salary percentage is still at a decent number, and it's still safe for the business as well. Right. So then it's playing with the range over there ultimately, and obviously there has to be a multiplier effect that each employee is able to contribute to the revenue being X, Y, Z, and my job therefore is to continue and monitor those numbers. Right. So linking that in terms of percentage is also the rental, right? So as the business owner, you need to be able to watch the numbers and see that, if firstly, I need to know what potential numbers I can even run. And I need to think conservatively in terms of, okay, if I don't hit the ideal number, what's the worst case scenario that the business can still run? I can still pay the salaries, pay the rental, pay my suppliers, and I just make sure that things are moving as going through. Even though if I may not have much money going in the bank, but at least I need to minimally be paying that. So I think so far, at least, it's been all right. I think that's largely due to so many factors, right? The brand, right? Who are we serving? The value that we're able to create? What does the market want, right? So far, the way I see that it's all fortunately still stacking up, and it's been working out for me. So when I say tough industry, I don't disagree. But again, one of my motto is, if it's a problem about money, then find a way to make more money.
Not transfer it down.
No, not yet.
Yeah.
No, which I mean, at the initial start when things were still kickstarting,
Right.
like something very admirable about Jack and his way of doing the business, right, at a very initial stage is when everything is still new, he makes sure he pays his supplier and also his staff to make sure, like what you mentioned, for the company or for the F&B establishment to continue moving. Yeah, which that's something admirable about business owners, where you make sure, yes, there will be months where you don't really have salary for yourself, but he will put his employees first and make sure everything is in order, everything is okay. Then when the business start to grow all the way until now, yes, then after you start to put money into his own bank. Yeah.
Okay, so we all understand Jing is halal, right? So
It is, yeah.
other than, of course, ingredients wise and how the food is prepared, is there do you have any special recipes that you create, special sauces that
Secret, bro, cannot tell you.
you just have or not? Yes or no question. Yes or no question. It's do you have anything special that we can't find in typical hotpot restaurants? Is that why Jing can thrive? Is it something new offerings?
Yeah. So first things first is that we are not certified halal. We don't have a halal certificate, but we are Muslim. So my partners, Nora and her mom, they are Muslim.
Right.
And so they still have the majority of the business. So just to clarify that purpose, the Muslim owned. But with that in mind, we obviously adhere to the halal standards, right? So anything that is under MOIS for the halal certificates, we adhere to those as well. In terms of the secret recipes, one thing being in the F&B space that I've came to realize is that in order for F&B to grow, right, the food being good is the bare minimum.
Yes.
Okay. So why do I mean by that? Because now I think in this age is that we all have a very clear idea of what's good and what's not good. We know what quality is. We know when something is processed, something is MSG, or if it's genuinely fresh with good ingredients. So at Jing, at the very onstart, I think in the previous brand there was really an emphasis on it at CMA. But when we took over, we decided to make sure that we market this point out very clearly as well. One of the things that we wanted to challenge was the notion of buffet. So people like to think that, the more variety of buffet choices there are, the better it is. We beg to differ. We think it's about having the best quality, but a decent size quantity of choices that you have there. So for us, we focus very much on our in-house specialty marinated meats. Those are already properly marinated with like proper lemongrass, goji berry. You literally see the herbs and the stuff in there. Satay is really made of the real ingredients. So we put a lot of emphasis into ensuring the quality for those, and we serve things like our beef strip loin. We serve things like a beef short plate. These are our loss leaders. It's very expensive for us, right? Right. But we do it because we know that customers have this acquired, or rather this clear idea of what quality is, and they are able to taste and appreciate the food instead of just having 1,000,001 choices out there. So that's what we really want to drive for. So in terms of having the quality aspect again, right? It's not so much the food. Like I said, the food is a bare minimum. So what else stacks on top of it? For us, we focus on the service. Again, being hospitality trained, I know what good service is. This was a funny joke that I came up as well. So I was in the US for my honeymoon. So obviously in the US, there's a tipping culture, right? You go to a place, the waitress will come 2 times and ask you, "Hi sir, how's everything?" Ask 2 times, and then after you pay 20% tips.
Right.
Standard across US. So when I was setting this up, I told my guys, just ask 3 times. "Hi sir, ma'am, how are you? How's everything?" Right. But it's a very simple thing. But I think that's what makes F&B in Singapore a little bit different. Right. It's that service element, right? Just a simple question. "Hi sir, ma'am, how's everything?" And if they have something, then they will tell you. If they don't have, they say, "No, it's fine, thank you." But they appreciate it. Right. So service is the second one. And then third is ambience. Right. So we spend a lot of money as well on the renovation work. Trying to create a nice, cozy, intimate environment, right? Cozy lighting, a little bit more moody. You never see that in other F&B places, I feel, right? At least from what I've observed. Hopefully this is the right direction. I can't tell you that this is going to be successful. But that's what we are trying to emphasize on.
Yeah, perhaps one of these days we can drop by and then we can do a video there.
The meal will be on me.
It's a
We're at the Kinex Mall.
Kinex, yes, I saw. Because I specialize doing F&B as well, and everyone's got a different concept, right?
Yeah.
Not just the food, also like you mentioned, the experience that you want to give the clients. Everyone's got something different.
Right.
Like the one we just completed recently, it's very dark. We used the mood lighting, so nice. Like every table has its own lamp, and
that's what we do also.
Yeah, but sometimes if they have like a family and they don't want it to be too dark, right? We also have the options of putting up more lights or like increasing the brightness of everything.
I think you're not wrong. Yeah. The issue with that is that there are different demographic in the market. Right?
Yes.
So for perhaps the younger ones, they will appreciate this kind. For the slightly not so young ones,
because you
cannot see how to eat my food. Cannot see the food cook or not.
Yeah, and if your kids spill like food, and that's how you can't see. So you want to have something an option at least.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it depends on.
I think it's finding that midpoint. I think we found the midpoint so far already. It took a while to get here.
We can't serve everyone like still.
100%.
Yeah, but I mean, the demographic is also pretty niche also. I mean, niche, but also at the same time, you also attract the Chinese demographic, all this also, sure, no problem. But because mainly they are focusing on that one specific demographic.
I wouldn't say exactly also. I think the key word that we're trying to drive across this brand is also inclusivity. I am big believer, especially in this modern days. I mean, you see what's going on in the news, right? Left, right, up, down. As long as you're different color, different race, I want to fight with you. I think what I'm trying to build here is really more than just a place for just food. One of the things I always feel very proud of, right, is looking across when I'm sitting and doing my work. I see one Malay, one Indian, one Chinese sitting down, enjoying the meal together. Individual hot pots. You have your own grill, and they're sharing. And I feel that at the end of the day, food is the way to everyone's heart, right? If you have something that can connect, transcend everything, probably will be food. So I feel very proud when I have this space that I'm also able to help grow, to foster that. So I won't say that, yes, you're not wrong. I think a large part of my current demographic is the Muslim market, say about 60-70%. The other 30% right now is the corporate market. So I have quite a strong focus as well to try to grow that. Then I would say it's as well the mix of having this Chinese with some Muslim friends want to go and find a nice place to makan. Yeah. So I think ultimately what we're trying to really drive is to create a space that is inclusive for all.
You see, in F&B, you always get to make a lot of friends. So do you actually, is that actually real? And do you make new connections with your customers even?
Oh yeah, no, I enjoy the interactions as well. I'm not so much on the ground nowadays. At the start, obviously, very much. I was still trying to build it. It was very much, washing dishes. My very first day, I remember. Saw the pile of, because obviously we
Didn't anticipate.
Yeah. So there's a pile of dishes. I remember just washing, and then with my partner over there, she's like, "Wow, you know how to wash dishes, ah?" I was like,
No choice.
Time to get a dishwasher.
Yeah. So we eventually got one. But as in, there was a lot of work there. Then after that, I positioned myself more in front customer facing. And at that point of time, my wife we just found out that we were having a baby at the same period. So she was in her first trimester. And it was extremely hard because my wife was literally growing a baby inside her, and I had this intangible baby as well that I also had to build upon. So it was a very hard period. Because I remember just leaving in the morning. I would leave around 9 a.m. Shop opens at 12. I'll come back at 11. Right, I won't have my lunch. I just one meal before going there. Walk all the way, and my dinner, chicken rice, at 10:30 p.m. That was the early days. But that was a very fruitful period for me, very rewarding period, because I got to interact a lot with the customers. I enjoyed that side. It's just simple banters, making fun, chatting with them, getting to know about them, seeing the joy. When they were saying like, yeah, the food is fantastic, we love it, the concept is brilliant, food is brilliant, people is brilliant. So that brought me a lot of satisfaction to it. Nowadays, I'm not so much front facing anymore. I have to position myself more behind to see the bigger picture of everything. But I still enjoy, I guess, the interaction with also my staff. Going down, joking with them, bantering. That's the other joy that also brings me.
You're the good cop in this.
So far, yes. I like to keep it that way.
It's fun to be a good cop.
Yes. So far it's been working out.
I mean, it's not just fun, it's also you are taking care of the welfare of your employees. Okay, so the next question is, other than the freshness of the food and the manpower wise, were there any unique challenges faced in comparison to your past entrepreneurship journey?
Like, for example, in finance, right, you tend to have to use a lot of your statistical brain. Like sometimes F&B, for example, it is more of an art. And do you feel like, hey, I'm understimulated, I need more of something, I need to adjust my role, these kind of challenges? Use an example of challenges.
So I'll address that part first. I think, I was in the private wealth area, right? So I started from the retail space, and I grew up to serving the high net worth in Singapore and regionally as well with the expats here. So my work over there was quite fun in a sense where I got to interact with all sorts of people, all background. Before I left, my net worth of clients were in the 5 to 10 million range. High earners that probably numbers I've never seen before in my life. So while that statistical mindset, that part that you talk about, yes, that was important in the early years. And once you get 3-4 years down the road, it becomes second nature. You roughly know like what you need to look out for. Those were obviously very useful in now trying to run a business, because I know the numbers at the back of my head, right? Roughly is about the same in the personal side and in the business side. So the challenges from that was eventually also I got a bit burnt out, being that there was not much creativity that I could have in it. So contrary to it, what you were saying earlier, I find that where I'm at right now allows me a lot more creative juice. Not just in terms of like the branding, marketing, but even in terms of like business structuring. From the corporate level, legal level, right? How do I structure things there? To organizational structures. How do I arrange people? How do I move people in and out if there's a need to? Who are the next few people that I need to hire, right, in order to scale up the business? Where do I even want to be 5 years down the road, 3 years down the road, 1 year down the road? How do I work all that backwards? So that creative part is where I feel that it's a lot more stimulating for me right now at this stage where I'm at. So to answer your question about the challenges, the challenge I think really ultimately is that the F&B is genuinely a very cutthroat dog eat dog world.
Right.
We all know the statistics right now, nowadays. And it's really that unless you are really at the top, it's very, very hard to make it up. And the thing is, I don't think I have enough track record yet to say I'm out of it. I'm still in the grind. I'm still trying to position myself right. Still trying to create enough value that people can see what is it worth. People trying to show the brand what we really genuinely believe in the long term. Hopefully that catches on with people. That resonates with the people that we want to serve. So I think for me the challenge over here, it's about how do we create our own arena and play it, and then not be competing in someone else's arena. So that's where we're trying to really build the brand upon as well.
Would you ever consider, have you and your partner ever talked about probably an exit one day?
Yeah.
If you have an established enough brand, were you looking at maybe private owners or maybe food groups?
Whoever has the money I want to buy at the end of the day. But yeah, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, begin with the end in mind.
Yes. Do you think that food groups have a better chance of surviving? Because the major closures also come from food groups as well.
Well, how do you define food groups?
For example, Haidilao is obviously a group, but
Okay.
I'm not so sure how many other sub-brands they have, but it is a big chain.
Yeah.
And then of course there's like one food concept lah. They have everything, different concepts, Spanish, Italian.
Bedtalk is also, they also have it's a main group.
Yeah.
So this economy doesn't spare you. It doesn't matter how big your backing is, right?
Yeah. F&B I think is a very tricky space to be, because one of the statistics I know is that it's actually also very hard to sell F&B space. And again, I can't tell you what the right thing to do, because I'm also still in the thick and thin of this, right? But at least for strategy perspective, I feel that if I can have regional presence, if I can push to global presence, that would be more incentivizing for investor side to buy over. Because at the end of the day, F&B is a cash flow business. Yeah. It's fantastic cash flow. Right? I don't need to wait another 30 days for my customers to pay me the money. So I think ultimately, if I put my shoes in the investor position, at the end of the day, it's what kind of ROI am I making? What are my margins per year? If I were to sell it, all those numbers need to add up ultimately, right? Then the question to ask from that perspective is, if I were the investor and if I want to buy it, how can I better optimize this for even more growth? Right? And so my job right now, I think, is fundamentally to prove the concept, prove the scalability. And if I were to sell it, then that's where they make the margins of it afterwards. Yeah. So I don't know. I'll let you know in a few years' time, hopefully.
Begin with the end in mind, yeah?
Okay, so
we'll put all of Jing's and Jack's collaterals in our description below. And thank you for watching today. If you like what you have seen today, please give us a like, share, follow, and subscribe. Thank you very much.
thank you.
See ya.
Bye.